What's that, you say? You don't know how to record your desktop? Okay, let me show you how to. Begin with downloading OBS. Just search for it on Google and go to their website. Choose your operating system. For me, it's Windows. Here. Just save the file anywhere you like. I'm going to save it here. There we go. And once that's done, go to that folder and double click it. There we go. Next, next, next. Once that's done, launch OBS Studio. There we go. And for the sake of this tutorial, I'm not going to use this optimizer. So I'm just going to cancel this. There we go. So this is the first thing you're going to see. And to make this more interesting and challenging, we are going to take like a scenario where you are recording for YouTube. You're making a YouTube video and some of your footage is from a DSLR or like a digital camera of any choosing. So the first thing you're going to do is go to settings and we're going to go to output. And here we're choosing advanced and going to the recordings tab. Now, you can choose whatever you want for the recording path, but recording format, I recommend you using MKV because if OBS crashes or something, you're going to, the recording, the footage is going to be complete up until the point the OBS crashed. If you're using MP4, for example, which is a very popular format, the whole file will be corrupted if OBS crashes. So choose MKV, and all the popular video editing softwares are going to recognize MKVs as well, so it doesn't matter. Now, depending on the type of PC you have, if you have like a good modern PC with an external graphics card or something like that, you're probably going to see these two. And so the first thing I'm going to pick is this. This is the CPU. You let the CPU do the recording. So when you actually record, the CPU is going to do all the hard work. And the other one, the NVIDIA, I have it because I have an NVIDIA graphics card and it comes with a built-in recorder. You can check if you have this. I recommend using this one, the NVIDIA one, because then your PC is not going to break a sweat at all. Do not rescale your footage. We're going to set the resolution elsewhere. So for the sake of this example, like with the YouTube video and stuff, we're going to use constant bitrate, CBR, and this number, the bitrate, is going to depend completely on your PC. So if you have the NVIDIA encoder, that's fine. You can choose like say 10,000. That's on the low end. Up to, I haven't actually hit the ceiling, but I think up to 50,000 kilobytes per second for bitrate. It should be good for that. But if you're just recording the desktop like this, you don't need that much. So you can take like, let's say 15 just for this example. You don't want any keyframing, because keyframing, if I set it to 2, for example, the recording is going to cut off every second frame from the footage, and you don't want this because DSLRs don't do this. And yeah, so let's keep it at 0. Presets, I usually go for max quality. Also, this depends. I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, but let's choose max quality and high profile. So this is the settings I usually use if I'm recording my screen with my graphics card. So let's try this first. Just apply it. Don't close this window. We have more to do here. So for audio, you should have it on 48 kilohertz for sample rate and stereo. And for your microphone, you choose your microphone. If you want to record audio as well, you can disable this later. So I'm going to choose this microphone I'm using right now. And for default desktop audio, I'm going to use, I don't know, let's say this one. And here comes the resolution part. So I usually aim at releasing my videos in full HD. That's 1920 by 1080. So the base canvas, that's like the original size, the native size. And this is the output we're going to get, this one. So choose 1080 for that one too. And the downsampling filter is more or less how sharp you want the image. Don't just go for Lanczos, because it has some other effects as well. If you go for Lanczos, the colors are going to be darker, I've noticed. So I usually go for bicubic. And here's another one that's pretty interesting. So depending on your DSLR, your camera, you should match the frame output of your camera here. So if your camera is recording at, let's say, 24 frames per second, choose 24 frames per second here. You're going to have a much easier time in your editing software. Instead of like recording at 60 and your camera recordings are like 30, it's not going to look as good in Adobe Premiere. If you're using that for example, you're going to get some tearing depending on the encoding you're doing on that video, the final video. So for this example, we're going to use 30. And we'll assume that your camera is recording at 30. Sometimes it records at 2997 as well. So, but let's go with 30. And that's pretty much it if you just want to record a video. So let's go through these things. Here you can mute your microphone. You can see now I'm talking. And yeah, now when I mute it, nope. There's no action here. And this is the audio from the PC. So if I make a sound, or like we'll use Spotify as an example, you're going to see this meter move. I think I have a virtual mixer, so depends on what I'm doing. No, okay, I'm playing music right now, but you can't probably hear it. Yeah, so this is the audio. So if you just want to like record your screen and then do some voiceovers, I would mute both of these and do the voiceover in the editing software in post. Or you can do this. You can enable your microphone and do the voiceover directly when you record, like I'm doing right now. So this is your scenes. You can have multiple scenes, and this becomes more clear when we actually put some sources in it. So if you want to record your monitor, you choose the display capture, and let's just keep it named display capture. So you can see here, this is my display we're looking at right now. And you can choose to capture your mouse or not. So I have 4 displays right now. So this is the display above the one you're looking at. You can see here. So let's choose this one for now. This is going to be very weird and very trippy, but yeah. And now let's switch scenes and add, I don't know, an image, something just to make it more clear for you. Camera, I don't have any pictures. Let's take my logo. There we go. You can see here. We can switch between these scenes and have different things pop up. And you can hotkey these ones as well. So I can like choose my numpad and switch between the scenes. That should be it for if you have the NVIDIA graphics card. So now you just hit record. There we go. You can see here. And there's no CPU usage. But if you look at this one, Task Manager and Performance, for the GPU, you can see we're using the video encoder. We have like 27% usage right now. And if we drop this, it's not going to drop all the way because I'm recording with the Shadowplay software as well. But yeah, so it's 10%. So that's with the video card. And this is fine for any recording. Like, it's really good. I can't remember where we put the file though. I'll have to check. Output, recording. Okay, so it's here. Yeah. But let's say you don't have an NVIDIA graphics card. You have just the CPU. This is going to depend a lot on what kind of CPU you have. I have the 9900K or 9900K with 16 cores, and it's pretty fast cores as well. But let's assume you have like the most used CPU on Steam, which is like, I think it's the 4790K. It's a pretty old CPU. We'll stick with the MKV and X264, but for bitrate, this 6000 is like kinda okay for that kind of processor. No keyframing, and as you see here, higher uses less CPU. So ultra fast is for like, I don't know, you can probably run it on an old laptop or something without the laptop breaking a sweat. And if you want to, like, medium or slow, should be renamed to make my PC hurt or something. It's really, really demanding and really tasking on the CPU. The default is very fast. You can probably choose faster. And then you choose high for the profile. No tuning, no nothing. So this should be fine for most CPUs. So we're going to start a recording and check on one thing here. It should say, I should see something here. Stats. Here you go. On stats here you can see frames missed due to rendering lag. You don't want any frames miss or any frames skipped. If you start seeing this, you need to turn down the settings a bit. So these settings are fine for my CPU. You see it's just 10% CPU usage. So you can experiment with this a bit, just to make it more nice of a quality. So like we can test 15,000 here as well. and fast, yeah. There we go. And let's start the recording. And this is fine now, but I'm not doing anything on my PC. This isn't the way you want to record games, for example. Games, you should have this window, so you can see it on another monitor or something and see if you're missing frames. And also, if you intend to record at 60 FPS, let me just show you. This is more like it's twice as demanding, so you can imagine how oh fuck, how tasking it will be on your CPU. Video 60 FPS. You saw my CPU was at like 10% utilization. So let's see now. No, okay. My CPU is kind of beefy, but your CPU might not be able to handle this one. But as I said, just experiment and see what works for you. There's no like universal good setting. So you just have to experiment. That's all I'm going to do today. I'm thinking of doing an like more in-depth and advanced series on streams and how it works. For example, if you want to make like collaboration streams and multiple streams to stream, I mean live streaming to like Twitch and YouTube at the same time from one PC, you might want to broadcast like from 2 different PCs in your home to one place. So let me know in the comments if you would like to see anything like that. Otherwise, I think we're done here, and remember to subscribe and hit that like button, and I'll see you in the next video.